Hello. So something I forgot to mention in part one. So visual of Sola-Scriptura. Sola-Scriptura. So in the second ex cathedra, the Pope made the claim that Mary bodily assumed into heaven. Now, a lot of Roman Catholics assume that that's an infallible interpretation of the Scriptures, but yet, if you go to Catholic Answers, they admit that there's no direct biblical support for that. There's no Bible passages for that. So what's going on there? You're adding extra biblical revelation. So I had asked Roman Catholics, where did the Pope get this from? This is Pope Pius XII, and they said, well, in 200 A.D., a bishop discovered the tomb was empty, and just assumed that Mary assumption went to heaven. And so when a person makes that claim, you're actually adding to Scripture. You're adding extra biblical revelation when you make that claim. Okay, that's not anywhere in the Bible. You're actually adding to Scripture. Now, it begs the question, when you read the passage of Scripture where it mentioned those who add to Scripture will add to the plagues of his life, why isn't there a plague being added? The reason being, let's go back to, let's see here. The reason being, I need to find, here we go. So, John wrote the book of Revelation. Okay, that's where you find, do not add, otherwise I'll add the plague of life. John was actually an apostle to the Jews. He's writing to the Jewish people in those 7 churches in the book of Revelation. So they were the ones that were not to add, okay, otherwise the plague be added to them, okay. This does not apply to the average Joe reader in the 21st century, okay. Remember in Romans 3, what advantage has a Jew, or what profit there of circumcision? Much in every way, chiefly because down to them they are committed the oracle of God. Okay, so they were the ones, they add the Scripture, and they're told, if you add to it, you will suffer the plague of life. So they were the ones that would have suffered that. So when the Pope makes an extra biblical revelation claim that Mary assumed in heaven per ex cathedra, it's not committed to him, the oracle of God. Okay, although they like to think that they're the ones that put the Bible together and all that. So that's why a person today, when they add, they're not suffering the plagues, okay? They're still going to be accountability, okay? But they're not, it's not like in the first century, the people that John actually wrote to, that they would be, it's not like them, okay? It's written to them, pertaining to them, written to them, for them. But for us, it's not written to us. It's written for us, but not to us, okay? In what sense is it written for us? Because we're in the same covenant, we can look at it from a third-person perspective, what's going on there between John the writer and the 7 churches that he's written to. We have to look at from their perspective, the 7 churches, how they would have understood this. That's where we go back to the Old Testament, and that's where it really helps. So, this requires a lot of study. So it's a lifetime study. So anyway, so I want to point those things out. So when the Pope makes such a claim at cathedra, and if he's not interpreting Scripture, such as in this case, he's actually adding to Scripture. Now, is he adding a book in the Bible? We're going to add this and call it the book of blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what I'm talking about. He's adding extra biblical revelation that is absolutely false. Okay, it's so these. It has been said that this whole magisterium is just fallacy. It's imagination. It's based on imagination, and I tend to agree with that. It's just not. It has no solid support. It's based when you go back to the history try to find that fork in the road. It boiled down to a rewrite of history that took place in the 4th century, which I talk about a lot in this channel. So, alrighty. So that's all I have. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.